Scene 5.
In London, a few days later, a small brown box tied with a red bow was delivered to the Winthrop residence.
James brings the box into his apartment. He sets the box down on a table and sits in front of it. He stares at the box in silence. He looks curious and a bit uncomfortable. He pulls the ribbon from the box and removes the lid. Seeing Annabel's handwriting on the letter, he smiles before he can help it, then frowns. He pulls the letter out of the box, revealing the pulsing heart that lies beneath it. James gasps and drops the letter as if it had burnt him. He sits for a minute staring at the box, wide-eyed, panting. His face shows a mixture of shock, horror, fear, and amazement. The letter has fallen to hide the offending heart. Slowly, James reaches once again for the letter. He raises it timidly from the box. The heart is still there, still pulsing, freed from the shock it had first afforded, but not without some degree of horror. James gazes upon the heart again. The thing lies carefully coddled in cotton wadding. It is bright and full. As it pulses, it sends forth small puffs of air that make dimples in the cotton. With each wheeze of air, a bit of blood also spatters forth from the heart's severed arteries.
It was a functioning heart, still beating and full of life, but it was empty. And if it was empty, then the breast from whence it came was too.
The color drains from James's face. He sinks back in his chair, ripping his eyes from the fascinating object before him. He stands up and gazes down at the heart, then, as if driven by a dream, he walks to a nearby desk and draws a pair of small, worn scissors from the top drawer. He stands in front of an oval mirror, scissors at the ready. Hands shaking, he raises the metal to his skin. He opens the scissors, and trembling, moves to cut open his chest. Suddenly, James drops the scissors and they clatter on the floor. He turns away from the mirror, looking down at the floor, clutching his hand to his chest.
But James was unable to make the same sacrifice that Annabel had made for him. Her heart, so full of life and love for him, was strong enough, and his was not. He thought only of himself and the excitement and glamour of his new life.
Ashamed, James puts the letter back into the box and closes it without looking at Annabel's heart again. He puts it into a drawer and lays his head down on the desk.